Did you know that there are 4 main ways that you will perceive and receive messages from your angels? If you'd like to know what these 4 ways of receiving messages are, stay tuned for the rest of this video. Hi, I'm Melissa and I'm the founder of the Spirit Guided Life School. I'm here to help you trust your inner guidance and awaken your spiritual abilities so you can be on the path of joy and abundance and purpose that you are here for. If that's of interest to you, hit that subscribe button and be sure to visit my free training on how to hear a message from your angels to get started practicing your communication right away. So there are 4 main avenues of spiritual communication. You can think of these as similar to the 5 physical senses, right? Seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touch. Those come from the physical body, but we also have 4 spiritual senses, ways that we perceive energy. And those 4 spiritual senses are intuition, often known as clairaudience; vision, often known as clairvoyance; prophecy, sometimes known as claircognizance, I think that one's not as well known; and feeling, often known as clairsentience. So you may be familiar with the 4 clairs. It's the same thing. I remember when I was training to be a school teacher, we also talked about learning styles, which is the same thing, right? The audio learner is the intuitive, the visual learner is the visionary, and the kinesthetic learner is the feeler. They kind of forgot the prophetics in the education system, but prophetics are used to that. So these are the 4 avenues through which you will perceive energy. Now, you actually have one of these that is your primary gift, and so that is really helpful to know about. So if you're curious about that, you want to go to my website, communicatewithangels.com, and you're going to see under private sessions there, the gifts and guidance private session. And that is a one-on-one session that you can do over Zoom, where one of the things you'll learn, of many things, is your primary gift. So keep that in mind if you want to go deeper. But let's delve into what these 4 gifts are and how you will perceive and receive messages from your angels through these gifts. Okay, so the first is intuition or clairaudience. So through this gift, if your angels are communicating to you, you may hear the still small voice inside. You may hear your name called and there's no one there. Or you may just hear words and phrases pop in your mind. Most of the time, in my experience, that voice kind of sounds like my voice. But I have had quite profound experiences where the voice definitely doesn't sound like me. I could perceive it as more of a male voice, and obviously because I'm female, that becomes more distinctive to recognize, or quite a soft energy, etc. Now, through your gift of vision or clairvoyance, you might perceive a message as a picture in your mind's eye. Often I will see people's faces if my angels are suggesting that I need to communicate with that person or, collaborate with them in some way, whatever it is. You may see a symbol of something. So if I see a tree, for me, that's often a symbol of growth and abundance. A lot of people work with spirit animals, where a animal is symbolic in some way and has a meaning for you if it crosses your path. This can also come through dreams, where you're having that visual imagery in your mind as you're unconscious and asleep. And often our angels will bring us quite profound messages through our dreams, so definitely do write down what you remember from your dreams. Through the gift of feeling, you are more going to have gut feelings, physical sensations. You might get chills or goosebumps. You might feel heat, warmth, even a cool breeze. And then just that feeling, right? Feelings don't have words associated with them. We kind of have to put a word to it to communicate what it is to another person. But in essence, a feeling is simply a feeling. And you will be able to interpret, okay, how does this feel? feeling is actually the fourth in my gift order, but I find it's really helpful when I'm making decisions or I get to a point where I'm feeling indecisive, and I'll say, how does the energy feel for these different choices? And it's profoundly accurate. And finally, through your gift of prophecy, this is that inner knowing, right? It's the sense of, I don't know how I know, I just know. You will also get senses of the future. Your angels might show you a premonition of something that is going to happen. I've had some interesting ones in my life. One of them I had recently hasn't come true yet, so I'm just noticing and observing and seeing if it does. But I've definitely had premonitions in the past that came true. My sister, years ago, I'm talking years ago, had a premonition. So I grew up in New Zealand. She had a premonition that I was going to be living in the United States, working with a spiritual organization that I'm still involved in, that I was, when I was a teenager, and that I would be a single parent. She had this premonition about at least 20 years before it came true. If you had told me at that time in my life, in my late teens, that I would be living in the United States, I would have thought you were crazy. So it's really, really interesting how these messages come through. That premonition, even though it came from my sister, not from me, it confirmed to me that the choices I had made were really on point. Because we can all doubt ourselves, right? We can sometimes wish, hey, if I'd made that decision differently 10 years ago, my life could have been so much better now, or would be so different now. And that premonition coming true really confirmed that even though it was a really challenging time in my life when I became a single parent, it was actually in alignment, right? It was my path for this lifetime, for whatever reason. So those premonitions might be just flashes of inspiration, a picture, a sense of what is coming. So those are the 4 avenues of your spiritual communication. These are your gifts, but you're perceiving, when your angels send you energy, you are perceiving it through one of those 4 avenues, right? And this again is your spiritual communication. So if you try to intervene with your logical mind, or more from the physical body, material sense, right? That is not the same kind of communication. You're probably just going to cut it off and block it. So you really just want to keep developing your own spiritual abilities and learning to trust what comes through. The more you practice, the more familiar and normal and natural it becomes, and you will be able to trust. So I'd love you to get started on that journey of practicing getting messages from your angels. And for that reason, I have a free video training for you. It's called How to Hear a Message from Your Angels. You want to go to communicatewithangels.com/hear your angels. And I'm going to guide you in that free training on how to hear a message that's loud and clear, that you can begin to really trust in your spirit connection. So I'll see you there.